Okay, a few more things on the meeting. My daughter's talk in itself was kind of significant. See, my daughter can write her own talk. She's been writing her own, from her very first talk, she came up with her own talk. I just go in like an editor and kind of tweak it and stuff, or make sure she's getting the point, but she, from the very beginning, she's been writing her own talk. She was 6 when she first gave a talk, and her first talk was in a foreign language. So she's, talks for her, no problem. But she wanted to use her own thing. She really didn't, like my husband was trying, like, do you want to make a field service presentation? She said, no, I'm just talking to somebody, and I'm just going to use my Bible. And he tried to get her to use the assembly notes, because the assembly theme and my daughter's talk were the same thing. How do you sanctify God's name? And no, I don't want to. No, it's okay. I'll look it over. But she wouldn't let him get. He was like, look, but the points from the assembly were the same. She's like, no, I'll do myself. And it was very simple. She just read what sanctify means right out of the Insight book, and then she gave an illustration about taking care of something that's valuable. So it's the same how you would want to sanctify God's name that's valuable. She never used the name Jehovah. But throughout the talk, she kept emphasizing Jesus, saying, it was just, I didn't dawn on me, so I was sitting there listening to her like, she doesn't even say the name Jehovah. We had picked this scripture, Hebrews 13, 15, and 16, and in that scripture, it says, through him, let us make public declaration to his name. And I asked her, do you know who the through him is? And she was Jesus. So she says, if a person's going to sanctify God's name, a person has to be more like Jesus. She said Jesus a bunch of times throughout the talk and didn't say Jehovah. She said Jesus and God. So it was kind of cool. To me, it was just awesome. And her talk kept coming up under time. Like, it was always like right at 4 minutes. And her dad was like, well, don't you want to add more? She says, no, I've said everything I've had to say. If it's under, so what? I don't care. There's not much more. There's nothing else I want to put in there. So it was cool. It was her little bit of empowerment. It was awesome. And what else happens at the meeting? Okay, we walk in. We were late. We missed the song and the prayer. We got stuck in traffic. And we got stuck in traffic right behind a family who we were really, really close to. At least, I mean, they're still close to my husband and kids, but they are spending less time with each other than we used to spend. I used to spend when we were all together. But we got stuck with them. So to me, it seemed kind of cool that it was like, here we were, and they're like waving, and it's like they realized, oh, and I see the kids lean over. I think they were saying, oh, Sister Bell, or Brother Bell's wife is in the car. Who knows if they even bothered to still call me Sister Bell. So anyway, so we all end up walking into the kingdom all together, and the husband of that family, that witness family, he's holding open the door. And I look at him and I said, thank you, And it's funny because here we were, the kids call him Uncle E, and they call his wife Aunt Cynthia. I love them like a brother and sister, not just fake brother and sister, but like they're my family. And now it's just, he's opening the door. I smiled and said, thank you, and held the door open. And then I'm walking in, just smiling, and we're just walking to the seat, and they had just finished the prayer. They were starting the dribble study. So it's actually called Bible study for non-witnesses who are watching this, but it's more dribble than anything else. So we sit down, and that's when I'd gone into the bathroom. I mentioned that in my first video. Go in the bathroom, and there's that pioneer, and I told her to scurry off. And so we get back to the seat. When we get back to the seat, my sister-in-law is sitting in the audience. She came to visit, to listen to the talk. And let me tell you, my sister-in-law, we all got along, but we were so busy. See, my husband and I were serving in a foreign language congregation. My sister-in-law and my brother-in-law are on the RBC. My sister-in-law is also a regular pioneer. My father-in-law is on the RBC, and so is my mother-in-law on the RBC, and my mother-in-law is a regular Pioneer. And we're all in different congregations. And like I'm an hour and a half away from my mother and father-in-law. I'm half an hour away from my sister-in-law. And my sister-in-law lives about 45 minutes to an hour away from her parents. So we were all geographically not that close, and we were all in different congregations. And we were all so busy with the lie, you know. And so we didn't always, it was always a thing about us getting together to spend time with each other. But ever since I left, my sister-in-law has been doing a lot more to be closer to my husband. Ironically, hypocritically. So anyway. So here she is, she's sitting there, and I watch her like, she's kind of like trying to look back. And every time she would look back, I would just keep smiling at her. And at one point she turns her face, and she has a scowl on her face the whole time. How pathetic. There was one highlight. One witness man stands up during the meeting and to go to the bathroom, and when he walked down the aisle, he went, that was so sweet. That was so sweet. You know, I really feel for, he always looks so freaking tired and worn out. And then for them asking for more field service and more stuff, and his family can just, I don't know, they just only knew how much more happiness there is once you know the real life. So anyway, so I thought that was sweet. And the little kids, some of the kids at the hall, their parents were looking at the little ones, my daughter's friends and stuff. And the teenagers, they'd meet me and look me in the eye and stuff, and it was all awkward for them. So I didn't really make an issue of you know, keeping eye contact or looking at the teenagers. I didn't want to make them feel awkward, more awkward than they knew it was, because here they knew this. You know, I used to be Sister Belle, hanging out and talking to the kids about all the stuff they like, and now it's like, you know, so I really didn't push it with the kids, but with everyone else, you know, I would either, you know, like, go quick little hi, or, and I kept smiling at everybody. That's what I did. My good friend, the witness who is my good friend, was my good friend. I mean, I still love her like my good friend. She's an older woman. She's gonna be 70, and I'm 33. We always used to say we're like David and Jonathan. And when she's leaving, she looks at me. She goes, like she wants to talk to me. And I said, something like that. And she walks out. And then when my daughter and I were heading to the car, she pulls my daughter aside. She's talking to her. And she says to my daughter, I'm really proud that your mom came to the meeting. And I said, oh no, I really don't want her to get her hopes up. I mean, we used to talk to each other almost every morning. I'd get up, it was call Jean, and we'd talk about our Bible reading, we'd talk about the meeting, we'd talk about what we were going to do, we'd talk about our lives almost every single day. And we had not spoken in 6 months. And I didn't want her to have any inkling that, or any glimmer of hope that I was coming back. So I called her the next morning, and I told her, you know, she picks up, hello, and I said, listen, I don't want you in any way to get your hopes up. I can never go back to living a lie or being part of a lie. I'm never going back. Alright? And I also said to her, I'll always love you, and I appreciate our friendship. Oh, my kids are out there fighting, so I better stop it right here. So that's it. The whole meeting.